In March 2020, Benny and his team were navigating one of the most dangerous stretches of whitewater on Earth when their cameras captured a terrifying close call.
Sorry.
It's okay.
No, that's all good, dude. Nice one. Jeez.
That's a big.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Oh my. Nice. Dude. Nice one,
I
man.
wish I'd hit him harder, man.
After this encounter, Benny's plans changed completely. His desire to run the entire Murchison section in one day vanished. Some sections of river simply aren't worth the risk. In these waters, being alone in a kayak isn't just risky, it's a death wish. In August 2022, deputies Buddy Sprott and Dan Hill were responding to a distress call about a vessel in trouble. What they saw would leave even the bravest boat captains shaking in their quarters.
Is the sheriff all right? Run up there.
When they arrived at the scene, they found a boat engulfed in flames, with an unresponsive man still on board. The heat was already so intense that their own vessel had started to melt from the proximity to the fire, but that didn't stop them. Without hesitation, both deputies jumped onto the burning boat. They had only seconds to act before the entire vessel would be consumed by the inferno.
Back up. All right, stop right there. Hold on. There you go.
Working together, Sprott and Hill grabbed the unconscious victim and began pulling him towards safety. The flames were growing more intense with each passing second. They managed to get the man off the boat and onto their vessel, just as the fire reached a critical point. Moments after the rescue, the boat exploded in a massive fireball. The entire vessel was consumed in flames within seconds. If the deputies had hesitated even a moment longer, the outcome would have been drastically different. The timing of their rescue couldn't have been closer. The rescued man was immediately transported to a nearby hospital for treatment. Thanks to the quick actions of deputies Sprott and Hill, he survived the incident. Despite the intensity of the fire and the proximity to the explosion, neither deputy sustained any injuries during the rescue. However, their marine vessel bore the scars of the operation, with portions of it melted from the extreme heat.
I need to pull it this way and get away from that tree, bro. Give some slack. No, that's fine with that.
The entire rescue, from the moment they arrived at the explosion, took less than a minute. But in that minute, two deputies risked everything to save a stranger's life. During their 10-day Mindanao province hopping tour, Angelica and Aileen documented what was supposed to be a routine ferry journey from San Jose, Dinagat Islands, to Surigao City. But massive waves were about to turn their travel content into a fight for survival. The seas were already turbulent when the pair boarded the ferry, unaware of just how violent the crossing would become. As the waves intensified, passengers watched helplessly as the outrigger took a devastating hit. The impact cracked the stabilizing structure, compromising the vessel's balance in the churning waters. With each successive wave, the damage worsened. The outrigger, already fractured, couldn't withstand the relentless battering.
Open kaya na.
Kabay, tamalangoy, tanan. Kabay, tamalangoy. Oo, may left jacket naman kita. Safety lamang tao.
Oh my god.
In a catastrophic failure, the entire structure was completely torn away from the ferry. They were now adrift on an unbalanced vessel, still 30 minutes from shore. Panic spread through the passengers. Some began preparing for the worst-case scenario, positioning themselves to abandon ship. The ferry operator had already called the Coast Guard, who were now waiting at the port for what might become a rescue operation.
Problem was the side, but everything is okay. Nothing will happen because no water went inside, and the Coast Guard is waiting. They called the Coast Guard a long time ago, and rescue and Coast Guard, they're waiting for us just in case something happens. It's okay. So he's there ready to jump since earlier.
The ferry somehow managed to limp to shore. As they approached the dock, passengers could see crowds gathered on the waterfront. Word had spread about the damaged vessel, and locals had assembled to witness the arrival. Only after reaching solid ground did the emotional weight of the experience hit.
I felt like I was the only calm one in that ferry. I'm okay. This is only the time I cried when we're out.
We're still crying.
I was trying to hold it together.
I'm still crying. We're already off the boat. We're scariest thing that ever happened to me in my life. I thought I was gonna die. I have to wipe my tears now. Okay. I'm crying in front of everyone. So thank you for keeping your calm.
You were about to lose yours.
Don't say it. Thank you.
Someone has to say calm. You were ready to jump the boat.
I was literally ready to jump off the boat.
And I was telling her to sit down.
I was like, Eileen, okay, we're gonna jump on this side.
She was holding her backpack and I'm saying, if you're gonna jump, leave your backpack.
Sometimes the difference between disaster and survival comes down to one person, keeping their head when everyone else is losing theirs. Robert Diggle and his sailing crew set out near Santorini, expecting moderate winds and clear skies. What they got instead was a nightmare scenario that would push them to their absolute limits. The forecast had predicted winds that day, but nothing close to what was actually coming. As they sailed off the coast, the conditions rapidly deteriorated into a full-blown storm with winds reaching 70 knots, hurricane force. Making matters worse, their roller furling system had been jamming for several days, meaning they couldn't properly control their sails when they needed to most. As the storm intensified, the crew struggled to manage their tangled rigging. Then, disaster struck. Their sail ripped completely. The crew pushed forward, fighting their way toward the island's protection.
Okay, the sail's ripped, that's good. That's better. That's good. Oh.
Finally, they reached the lee side of the island where the landmass blocked the worst of the wind. The captain maintained radio contact throughout, reporting their position to nearby vessels.
Pan. Do you speak English? pan, both Spetses. Yes, call sign is Spetses. I'll say it again. Sierra, Papa, Echo, Tango.
Tell me your position.
North 36 29 06. East 25. Well done, Captain. I didn't see a scary look on your face.
You did?
Did not.
Not at all.
Yeah, exactly. Now we're up against the shore, so we're outside of the wind now, so everything's much better. There's 5 people on board. They're gonna call. This is good now. This is the best it'll ever be. Yes, because we're behind the island now, so we're this island is protecting us.
But we should not leave this island.
No. Once we get out in the sea again, it'll be back to what it was before. So it was lucky, but it ripped, eh?
But I think that they are. It's good that they broke. But
Yeah.
do they make it to resist certain trends?
Now we return to normal.
The entire ordeal had been captured on camera, providing dramatic documentation of just how quickly conditions at sea can turn from routine to life-threatening. Despite the equipment failures and torn sails, the crew's experience and quick decision-making had brought everyone through safely. But as Robert noted while reviewing the footage afterward, this was documentary evidence of nature's raw power, and a reminder that the sea always demands respect. In early 2024, a crew of cruising Kiwis were navigating the remote waters off northern Brazil when a fishing boat appeared on the horizon and began tracking directly toward them.
So this boat's been from a long way out on the horizon. We first saw it. It's been tracking right on collision course for the last 10-15 minutes. It's getting closer and closer. I don't like it actually. I really don't like it. It just doesn't feel right. I don't know what it is.
This wasn't just another boat passing by. They'd heard about a recent attack in Lynn's Choice, where a similar-looking fishing vessel had targeted a boat in the anchorage. With the boat now close enough to hear its engines, the crew noticed figures on board watching them.
8 knots, 9 knots.
Yeah, 8-9 knots.
We're going quicker. Yeah.
Barco de pesca, é isso?
No reply. Oh, I feel they got the wood on them slightly, you know. They've just turned to starboard slightly, and as a result, they're moving back on the horizon ever so slightly. Ever so slightly. Oh, they've just straightened up again. Oh, it's really close. No, they've veered away again. Okay. I don't know what the heck. It's very odd. So those who've just signed on, just come on live. We are being chased by a fishing vessel. We don't know what their intention is. We've tried to call them on VHF radio. We've had no response. No response at all. It is held, it's maintained its course, getting closer and closer to us. Actually, they've just done a turn to starboard. Wouldn't you believe it? Now they're going to track behind us. They have just this second. Look at that.
They just needed to see the whites of their eyes.
Maybe they follow our YouTube channel and they're seeing that we've gone live. That is crazy. Oh no, they're turning back again. Okay, they're going back to port again. Wow. Okay. That is a little bit unnerving. You can hear the engines now. Yeah, no, they're coming back on our course to us again. They're definitely trying to get to us, eh? What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you reckon, mate?
Not happy.
So the little...
I can see guys on board.
Yeah. Well, do you want to get some flares handy?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Are they rocket flares though?
so get the flares ready. These guys are getting in pursuit of us.
I think they're slower.
Yeah, I think we're just slightly faster, aren't we? But they're definitely in pursuit. Why would they want to pursue us? I'll show you our sail setup. We've got the main up. Unfortunately, got a reef in the main. I wish we had the full main. We've got Rolly, our Rolly tasker sail there, doing the job. Sun is close to setting. So watch the space, guys. We don't know if these guys are pirates or what. We're very anxious about it though. We feel, you know, we've had situations before where boats have approached us about, you know, always conscious that, well, this could be something to be worried about, but we've always gone, oh no, that's right. These guys, mate, they have definitely, the way they've turned now and trying to follow us, trying to chase us. They might actually be hoping that the wind drops out. But actually I think we've got the wood on them, eh? At the moment. What the friggin' Nora. They've got a little sail up too. Does anyone know what this boat is? This is so dodgy.
Might I add, this fishing vessel is looking pretty light on fishing gear. Usually when you see them, they have the nets and flags and buoys all setting up the back of the boat. These guys have nothing.
Yeah.
You know, the fishing boats
No
usually
fishing.
have all the fishing gear at the back of the boat.
Yeah, no fishing gear at all.
These guys have nothing.
This is so dodge.
Go, flip the camera off, shot.
We seem to be faster. As long as the wind don't drop out, they can't catch us, hopefully. They're certainly following us, following our every move. Right behind us now.
They are hot in pursuit. They're going flat out.
I was just saying, that what if they follow us until the wind drops?
Yeah, this thing, the wind could drop tonight.
Yeah.
This is a little bit unnerving actually, I have to say. Oh, they're turning. Oh, they're turning. Rob has got a rope here. What you got that rope there for, Rob?
That's to wrap around the prop if it gets close to us. Once it wraps around the prop, then we're free, then we start. Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
No, they're still pursuing us, eh? Yeah, okay, they're on their way. Yes. Yep, they're turning away. They could easily come back, yeah. I'm sure there's nothing to worry about, but given what happened several days ago.
Finally, after more than 40 minutes of relentless tracking, the boat began to fall back. The crew made a critical decision. They would run dark, turning off all navigation lights to avoid giving away their position in the minimal moonlight. Throughout the night, they maintained their course, constantly monitoring the mysterious vessel's position. It wasn't until they reached French Guiana and showed photos of the vessel to local fishermen that they learned just how close they'd come to disaster.
They warned us that these were pirates associated with smuggling and contraband, and told us we were fortunate it didn't escalate further. Luckily, we crossed the border into France without any further incident, but plenty of reasons to celebrate.
The experience served as a stark reminder that while most encounters at sea are friendly and well-intentioned, the reality of sailing remote waters means staying alert, traveling informed, and being prepared for the worst. For the cruising Kiwis, who had already survived a shipwreck and robbery, this terrifying chase was yet another traumatic chapter in what should have been an adventure of a lifetime. In December 1927, the SS Kamloops was fighting through a savage winter storm on Lake Superior with temperatures plunging to 40 degrees below zero. What the crew didn't know was that they would be leaving behind a terrifying legacy that would still be talked about to this day. The small package freighter was racing to complete one final voyage before the shipping season ended, when it disappeared into swirling blankets of ice and snow near Isle Royale. That would be the last time anyone saw the ship above water. For 50 years, the Kamloops rested undisturbed at the bottom of Lake Superior until 1977, when Minnesota divers Ken Engelbrecht and Randy Salter discovered something that would transform the Kamloops into a legend among the diving community. The divers located the wreck in late August. The divers wondered why this lifeboat wasn't utilized. It's likely that the ship sank way before anyone was able to get to it, putting into question just how many lives were lost. Judging by the many scattered luggage and discarded items of clothing, the passenger and crew barely had time to react before they met their demise. As the divers continued to the deeper parts of the ship, they encountered more and more areas that were filled with debris, making traversing through other rooms of the ship harder. A debate could be made as to whether the Kamloops sinkage was a violent one, or whether this debris just naturally formed as the ship continued to rot underwater. It could be possible that the ship was torn apart either by the ice that it ran into, or possibly a violent storm. On September 5th and 6th, Engelbrecht captured the first photographs, revealing the name Kamloops on the rust-covered stern, but what they found inside the ship was far more unsettling. The divers had discovered what would become known as Old Whitey, believed to be the ship's engineer, TW Variety. Due to a post-mortem process called adipocure, the frigid waters of Lake Superior had preserved his body like a natural freezer. His soft tissue remained attached to his bones, creating a corpse with soapy, ghostly, white skin still intact. But Old Whitey wasn't just sitting in the engine room, he was standing upright, and he moves. According to the approximately 50 divers who have since descended to the Kamloops, Old Whitey doesn't stay in one place. The tides of Lake Superior cause his preserved corpse to drift throughout the ship, sometimes appearing in different locations on subsequent dives. Some divers claim Old Whitey doesn't just move with the tides, they swear he follows them around the wreck. Despite the macabre nature of the discovery, a disturbing tradition emerged among the diving community. They began calling it a diver's rite of passage to descend to the Kamloops and shake Old Whitey's hand, to physically touch the preserved corpse of a man who died a terrifying death 50 years earlier. The Kamloops remains where it sank, a frozen tomb lying in the darkness of Lake Superior. Old Whitey still guards the engine room, his ghostly form drifting through the corridors as new divers continue to descend, seeking their rite of passage.